Trenning turns. Here's the pitch. Ground ball. Past Nelson. Base hit. Whitaker's coming. The throw will be late. The Barnstormers win.
Hello and welcome to Stormers on Deck, a brand new show here on BRC 11 where we get to know members of the Lancaster Barnstormers. Thanks for joining us. I'm your host, Chad Landers. Now, Lancaster joined the Atlantic League of Professional Baseball in the spring of 2004. They're currently in their 12th year of playing at Clipper Magazine Stadium. Over the years, fans have seen a pair of championship trophies come home to the Red Rose City and a ton of talented ball players put on the uniform, but haven't really gotten a chance to know who they are really cheering for. Well, we're going to change all of that with this new show, as we've got three members of the squad ready to field our questions. So stay tuned. We'll introduce our first Barnstormer coming up after the break. Welcome back to Stormers on Deck. We're ready to talk to Pete Andrelzik, relief pitcher for the Barnstormers, as we dig a little deeper into his professional baseball career. Hey Pete, thanks for joining us.
Not a problem. I like the title, Stormers on Deck. Very clever.
Thank you. All right. Well, it's a brand new show, so we're giving it a try here. Pete, let's get right to it.
Awesome,
You're a
awesome.
hometown guy. Graduated.
Try to give you some good content here. See what we can do.
Yeah, for sure. You graduated from Manheim Township. Tell us what it means to kind of come back home and play here in Lancaster County.
Honestly, it's been a blessing. Kind of a blessing in disguise. I played for the Marlins for a while, and you get released and things kind of, you don't know if your career is going, where it's going. I had an opportunity. Butch called me and asked me to come up here and play. And, you know, the Atlantic League's a great league. Independent baseball kind of has that weird stigma where you don't know what kind of baseball you're getting if you haven't played in it before. You play in this league and realize there's talent, man. There's talent on every roster. So playing in front of my hometown, in front of my family, my friends, hopefully my fans. I hope I got a few fans now. It's been an awesome experience for me. I get to live here. I get to walk. I mean, I walked into the stadium today. So it's such an honor to be able to play here and get things done in the community and be here year-round. My mom still keeps score at every game. My dad stands up. He paces around when I pitch. He gets more nervous than I do, I guess. But it's been such a cool experience to be able to play in this stadium in the hometown and in front of all the adoring Lancaster fans.
Right, and of course you get to play for a legendary manager, Butch Hobson. Real quickly, what's that like?
I'll tell you, he's one of the best managers I've ever had, just because it doesn't matter what you do, he'll go to bat for you, and then he'll chew you out after and say, hey, you're wrong. But, you know, in that moment, he'll go to bat for you, and he's just such a player's manager because he's done it. He's been there. He knows what it takes to succeed. He's been on the highest level, and he's a guy that he always tells us, look, I didn't have all the talent in the world, but I hustled. I knew what it took to get, to play the game the right way. And that's all he really expects out of you as a player, is to just go out there and compete and play the game the right way. And as a player, that's all you can ask for a manager, is a guy that just has your back no matter what. He's there for you. He coaches the way you want. He manages the game the way you want. If a mistake happens and it's his fault, he'll own up to it, and he expects you to do the same thing. So it's such an awesome experience being able to play for a guy who just understands the game like that. He's been there, and he's down at a level where, I mean, he could be anywhere he wants, and he's here, and he's having a great time doing it. You can just tell the love of the game that he has.
All right, well, you mentioned that you played in the Marlins system. Do you have any memories from, the minors or perhaps maybe even going all the way back to your college days that might be a fun story?
Some unrelatable stories probably. But, just that whole experience was just, it's definitely a different experience coming from, playing as a kid. You grow up, you're playing wiffle ball, and then all of a sudden it's real. Like, you've got an opportunity to live out your dream. I mean, you hear your name get called and you're drafted, and next thing you know, you're getting shuttled off to, I was in Jamestown, New York, so excuse me, I got a little bit of a cold, but you go up and you start playing for real, and everything is just, it's still baseball, it's still fun. You understand that it is a job, but if you treat it like a job, you're probably not going to succeed. So, I mean, I've probably got some funny stories, but I don't know how many are camera worthy and usable for your viewers right now. So you ask me in person, I'll probably tell you a couple.
Nice, no problem. Do you guys have any, and you specifically have any major superstitions that you like to have here when you're playing baseball?
You're asking the wrong man. I got like 30 superstitions, man. I have too many superstitions to go through, but I'll give you a couple off the bat. Everybody never touches. You never touch the line when you come in. I always have to cross. If I'm coming from our home bullpen, I have to go past the first base bag and then in. I never get the ball from the umpire. If he throws it to me, I'll let it roll and pick it up. I'll never get it from the catcher. That has to be on the ground. The throw down to second, when they throw it around in between innings, I put my head down, I walk right to the third baseman, I make him put the ball in my glove. I've got some other little weird things, but some of them I don't really realize that I do until I do them and people make fun of me for them. But honestly, if you counted, it's probably 15, and they'll make fun of me for about 10 of them.
Nice.
So.
Well, you do seem like a guy that might play some pranks. Have you ever played any funny pranks on the guys in the Barnstormer clubhouse?
There's some certain things that we'll probably start to get into, but you don't want to do something to a guy who something that he really doesn't like, and then next thing you know, you accidentally get punched in the face, and he doesn't try it. So. They've found out that I don't like to be tickled. I don't like to, and Lance doesn't stop. Lance Sawatsky will not stop. If he's anywhere near me, he's figuring out a way to get that. But he'll get an elbow in the side every now and again. So, main pranks, big ones, we haven't really got into that yet. Halfway through the season, we'll have some good stories for you though.
Wonderful. All right, how about this? Do you have any special diet that you like during the season? Are there any favorite places that you like to go eat, maybe even on the road?
Oh. Actually, I pack my lunch a lot on the road. There's some of the hotels we stay in, there's not a lot right near it. So I've gotten in the habit of packing my lunch, which I pack my lunch and I pack my bike just in case I run out of stuff on the road. And if there is anything, I ride my bike around. I know you talked to Justin. He said I got him in touch with got him on a bike too. So yeah, we went down to the Commonweal and getting the guys on some bikes to ride around the city. Diet-wise in the city, I got a couple places I like to go. There's a little Himalayan place in the city I love. Commonwealth on Queen is a huge one for me. I'll go there, and I like to think I try the menu a lot. But every time I go there, I find myself I get the loaded grilled cheese every time, avocado, bacon, and it's a grilled cheese, and I can't. That's the only thing I get, and then I'm sitting here thinking that I try the menu, but I only really ever get one thing there because I love it. But I try to guide the guys to a lot of the restaurants downtown, and I'd say the coolest thing I heard today, some guy came in today and said, I haven't had a bad experience at a local restaurant, which is awesome. I said, look, every restaurant that I've been to downtown, you're not going to get a bad experience. They're all awesome. So diet-wise, it's anything downtown, road burritos, anything like that, I'm in.
All right, well, Pete, a pleasure. Thanks for being our first guest here on the show. Really enjoyed the chat, and good luck the rest of the season.
My pleasure. I'll be back whenever you want me to, okay?
All right, sounds great. We'll hold you to it. Well, we've got to take a break. More Stormers on deck when we return after these messages. And welcome back to the show. Time for what we like to call our Coach's Corner, where we'll get some insight from members of the Barnstormers coaching staff. Right now, we are joined by a legend on the diamond, the winningest manager in Barnstormer history, Butch Hobson. Butch, thanks for taking time in your busy schedule to just talk to us for a few minutes.
Thanks for having me, Chad. Glad to do it, man. Anything I can do for y'all, we're really glad that you are broadcasting our games again this year, and really looking forward to this.
Yeah, great. Well, Butch, it's been your 6th year now with the Stormers. You've talked to us before. You're very open about loving it here in Lancaster. Why don't you tell our viewers just a little bit about what you like coaching here on this team?
As a visiting manager for a few years when the Barnstormers first started, it was always a thrill to come to this ballpark. The fans had it was just an aura of the ballpark and the excitement that the fans brought and in this beautiful stadium. And, you know, not really knowing that I would be the manager here one day, the opportunity presented itself, and I said, man, I got to go to Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and manage the Barnstormers, and I love it here. The thing about the people in this area and this state as they adopt you as one of their own, and that's exactly what they've done with me. And you know, I want to try to give back as much as I can as far as what we do on the field and what we do off the field. So it's a special place in my heart, Lancaster.
Yeah, and you certainly
Lancaster.
gave back in the 10th year, the anniversary there, as they won the championship. So another ring coming back to Lancaster. Now, you are always one of those guys that tries to get your players back to affiliated baseball. And you had a recent instance where you had Phil Koch on the team, and very quickly he was back in affiliated ball and then right up with the Yankees. What was that like for you, and how cool is that to see?
Well, I mean, you know, every year we start in spring training, and I tell the 25 or 27 or 32 guys here that we have two jobs here, and that's to get them back to an organization is number one, and number two is to win a championship, and that's the way we approach it every day. So we take a lot of pride. I mean, it's not easy when you lose guys. You got to go find pitchers. I mean, last year in 2015, we lost 5 pitchers. I think the first 2 weeks of the season, we lost 3 starters and our 8th and 9th inning guy, and you know, you got to get on the phone and you got to keep up with everything that's going on as far as releases and free agents that maybe haven't gotten a job yet. But I take a lot of pride. We take a lot of pride in the fact when players get signed and have that opportunity to go back. I mean, Phil Koch had major league time, and you know, he's a very good left-handed pitcher, and the Yankees brought him in, and he's been in the big leagues right now.
All right, I don't want to put you on the spot, but do you have maybe an all-time favorite player that you coached for the Barnstormer, maybe 1 or 2 that you could quickly share with us?
I had a little second baseman I brought here is a switch hitter named Gilberto Mejia, who was probably one of the top players in this league. He's playing in Mexico right now. He's played in Mexico for the last few years. Very exciting. The fans loved him here. You know, a very good second baseman with a little pop in his bat and could steal bases. And then we had a guy here in the championship year, Omar Rosario, who is now playing in Mexico. You know, I have a lot of favorite players. I don't know that I could really pinpoint. That's just 2 that come to mind. I mean, I've had Francisco Seganal. I mean, if y'all remember him, he's a big 6'8" switch hitter, which is just a class act of a person that played for us for a year and was immediately a fan favorite. You know, I think that I think my players all feel that I feel that way about every one of them. So I just gave you a few names, but you know, I have 25 guys, 27 guys in that clubhouse. They're all my favorite.
All right, Butch. Well, what some people might not know is that you actually played in the majors and managed in the major leagues. So maybe you have like a favorite memory or a story from your time there that you could share with our viewers?
Well, my first game in '76, I hit an inside the park home run off of Rudy May, and with my speed, that takes some doings. That's a memory that I'll always have. You know, and you don't very often get a chance to be on the field when somebody gets their 3,000 hit, and I was able to be on the field when Yaz got his 3,000 hit, and that's a pretty special thing.
All right, so how about this? You know, baseball's filled with all kinds of superstitions and funky routines. Is there any that you've picked up over the 40 years that you have, and then maybe a funky one that maybe one of your players had?
Yeah, it would take us about 2 hours for me to tell you all of them. All baseball players are superstitious. I mean, you know, but when I played, the Red Sox had the old stirrups, the red, white, and blue. Well, you know, if we were winning, I didn't wash them. As soon as we lost the game, I threw them in the wash. That was a superstition that I had. I mean, you know, any little thing that we found a baseball in 2014 on the side of the road. Going to Somerset, and I was on the bus and I saw it. Nobody else saw that baseball, and after we went about 10 miles down the road, I told our bus driver, I said, "See, you need to turn the ball," because it was a voice telling me to go get that ball, and I said, "You need to turn this bus around. I got to go back to Cracker Barrel, so where you'd eaten." I said, "I didn't leave a tip," and Rich Runnels behind me. He said, "Hey, you did? You left a tip?" I said, "Well, I didn't leave enough." So we turned the bus around. And I got that baseball, and I got on the bus with it, and I said, "Guys, I just want y'all to sign this baseball. I don't know what it means. It means something to me." Well, in my opinion, after everything that happened at the end of that 2014 season, I really believe that baseball had something to do with it. we weren't playing very good last year, and so I was trying to decide what to do with that baseball, because people had asked me all the time, "What'd you do with the ball?" Well, I've got it in a little case, in my office. And they said, "Well, what are you going to do with it?" Well, Rich Reynolds and I managed the All-Star team in Bridgeport last year. So I took that ball and I stopped in in Clinton, New Jersey, right there where I found it, and I put it back. And we won the second half. So maybe somebody else found that ball and they're having as good luck like we did.
Well, there you go, everyone. You heard it from Butch. The superstitions are always hilarious, and we love it when baseball players really embrace that. Butch, we're going to have to leave it right there. As always, a pleasure chatting with you. Thanks again for joining us here on the show.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for having me, Chad. I appreciate it, buddy.
And we will be right back here after this commercial break. Stormers on Deck rolls right along here on BRC 11. Yet another member of the 2016 Lancaster Barnstormers squad ready and willing to talk with us. It is Justin Jackson, played second base for the Barnstormers the other night. Thanks for joining us, Justin.
Thank you for having me, Chad.
Ready to go. All right, here we go. First and foremost, what's it like playing for legendary manager Butch Hobson?
It's really awesome, really, really awesome. I was lucky enough, I played with his son, KC, with the Blue Jays, and heard all the stories, knew he was a heck of a player back in the day, and when I got here, man, he hasn't disappointed at all. It's been a great experience so far. He's kept things light and taught us a lot, and we're just having a good time.
Yeah, it does seem like players really like to play for Butch. Now, you mentioned the Blue Jays, played a little bit in the Blue Jay organization. Why don't you give us maybe a fun memory or something, a fun story that the fans would like to hear from your days there?
With the Blue Jays. Well, I guess one I could start with is, I got drafted and I show up down there in Dunedin, and I'm with Barnstormer Mike McDade, Barnstormer Kevin Aarons, and my second instructional league, Barnstormer Michael Krause and Scott Gracie show up just as well. So I think just getting to know those guys and the camaraderie, there's way too many stories that'll take up the whole show. So I'll just kind of outline that, I guess, a little bit.
Perfect. Okay. Well, you guys do a lot of travel. I'm sure there's some bus rides and some entertaining things that you have to do. What is it like to be in that kind of environment for you guys a lot of the year?
You know, the thing about the bus rides, and you're asking a guy, last year we had a pretty serious bus accident I was in, but the thing about it is, you're around your guys all the time, so we keep it light, going from the bus, people are playing cards, people, I'm on the iPad all the time. I got some good apps so I can watch some movies or just do a bunch of different things. The key, though, is to have your playlist set up so that you can listen to whatever the newest, hottest jams are, and that really helps you out, especially when they get long.
Nice. Well, you're talking about music, so why don't we go right there? What's your current walk-up music, and how do you guys pick those, and do you take pride in them, or is it just something that you kind of throw out there?
Yeah, well, right now I got my walk-up song, and it's Hype by Drake, and it's from his new album. It's just a song that as soon as I heard it, I was feeling it, so I just wanted to put it out there. It just gets me kind of locked in before I have to go do anything out on the field. So, I think for every guy it's different, but you just want to have something to get you feeling good, get you going, get you motivated, and that's what it's all about.
All right, now we've talked to other members of the ball club so far. What kind of superstition do you have that you really have to do to get yourself ready for a game?
Superstition to get ready for the game. For me at this point, I try to do some things all the time, and I think for one thing right now, I'm doing a lot of different things, so I'm trying to find some routine with that, but I'd have to just say eating spread. I have a PB and jelly sandwich just about every single day, and then in the off season, I totally bang peanut butter, no PB and J, because I know in the season I'm gonna have probably 150 of those sandwiches, so that's probably the main thing I do.
Right, so talking about food, what kind of diet do you like to have? Is it different than your normal out-of-season diet?
Well, I try to eat Chipotle as much as possible. Off season is a little bit easier because it's right across the street from my gym. So I pretty much gym, Chipotle, nap. That's kind of my routine. But in the season, you know, I try to pick it up as much as possible. I've been hitting up this place, Row Burrito. It's right downtown. I can bike around and get right there too. So that's a decent substitute.
Cool. Well, tell us about your time in Lancaster. You know, how long have you been here? What are you enjoying about the city so far?
You know what, my expectations coming here were, I had no clue what I was running into, and I arrived and we found a nice little place near the college up here that we're staying at, and I absolutely love it. You know, everything in the city is so accessible. Pete Andrelzik helped me out with getting a bike, so now, I'm a total city slicker. I've learned how to parallel park, which I never had to do because I'm from the mountains and we have driveways. And so right now, I've really enjoyed that. If I need something to eat, I can take off. If I need to go, pick up anything, CVS is right there. So just kind of living in the city has been pretty cool, and it's a really cool, bustling city.
Nice. Sounds like a good experience. What do you feel like at some point here when you are done with baseball, what do you feel like you want to do afterwards?
Well, for me, the main thing is I have my education paid for, so I'm going to go back to school, and right now, I have a lot of things on my table, a lot of things I like to do, so I think a lot of it's going to be just making a decision on where I want to take my next step, but I really think baseball is going to be something that's a part of my life for life, and, I've accumulated a lot of knowledge, and I just like sharing that with the youth, and I think something will be, in there, whether it's coaching or having a baseball school, whatever it is, but that's down the road. We're trying to play as long as we can, though.
Right, and give a quick plug to your YouTube channel. Maybe that has something to do with it.
Yeah, I have a YouTube channel. It's Justin Jackson Baseball, and you can go on there. There'll be, informational videos, just talking about stuff going on the field, a lot of things for younger players, intermediate players, and also I have a vlog called Baller's Life. On this vlog, it basically walks us through the season. You can be able to see some behind the scenes in the clubhouse, at the hotel, stuff going on the field. You'll get to see because everybody sees the game. So a lot of people are interested in what's happening outside of the game. So that's where Baller's Life comes in play. So go check out the channel, subscribe, and give me some thumbs up. That really helps the page. So yeah, Baller's Life.
All right, thank you, Justin. It was a pleasure, and you gave our viewers quite an insight into your life and your career. Good luck with the rest of the season with the Stormers.
All right, thank you, Chad.
All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back with Stormers on Deck. Welcome back to Stormers on Deck. We've cleared our bench for the day, but we'll be back in a couple of weeks with another trio of Lancaster Barnstormers. Hopefully you had some fun, learned a lot more about some of the personalities on this summer's squad. Thanks again to all our Stormers players and coaches for joining us, and of course to our great crew behind the scenes. Until next time, I'm Chad Landers. We'll see you at the ballpark.